Hey guys, it's Eleanor with the Nerd Element, bringing you all the coverage from Phoenix Comicon this weekend. Today we are sitting with Chris Claremont, the amazing writer for a lot of X-Men series, who's currently working on the new Nightcrawler series. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Pleasure is mine.
So let's start out, how did you get into comics?
Through the door. Sort of by accident. A friend of my parents knew Stan. My school would close down in those days for 2 months, January and February, and send the students out to get we called it field period, or they called it field period. And you got an internship, what would now be an internship, in something relating to your major field. So my majors were acting and political theory. Broadway wasn't hiring in January of '69, and working at a liberal lefty school, I wasn't likely to get a job in the newly elected Nixon administration. So I figured I'd go for publishing, since I did writing as well. And he recommended Stan to my parents, recommended me to Stan. Stan called, noted right off the bat that they couldn't pay me much, and I said, well, this is an academic field period. We're not allowed to ask for money. Well, they prefer that we did not ask for money. So he said, great, you're hired, true believer. Next thing I knew, I was working for Marvel. And they paid me like train fare, which is fun.
So we know originally the Uncanny X-Men had an original writer. How did you end up taking over the reins and kind of giving it the great run that it had?
He got a better job. Len was editor-in-chief, but at that time he was deciding it was time to leave as editor-in-chief, and in the process he got, as his sort of exit package, ended up writing the 4 top monthly titles in the Marvel line, the FF, Iron Man, Hulk, and Avengers? Maybe, I don't know, something along those lines. He was doing really well. Oh, Spider-Man, duh. Oh, sorry. And he had a 5th book at the time, which was X-Men, but he didn't have time to write it. So he knew I'd been sitting outside his office bugging him and hanging out for the 3 months that he and Dave were working on a prior publication. So he said, you want to write this book? And I said, yes. And that was that.
So we've all seen your cameo in the Days of Future Past movie that just came out. Did they bring you in to consult on the film at all, or were you just kind of invited on to just do the cameo?
I've been available to consult from the very beginning. When Marvel was in negotiation with Fox concerning how to put these things together, I was vice president, editorial director, so I actually had official status. And there was a point in 1998 when it looked like the whole project was going to go into turnaround because they couldn't get the pieces to gel properly. So I sat down and I wrote a memo. About 6 pages of single-space argument. I sent it to Lauren Shaludana, the producer. I sent it to the production VP at Fox. And essentially it was how to define the film, how to focus the stories in a way that translated into coherent movies and appealed to a wider audience. And next thing I knew, I got a memo back from Fox saying, thank you, the series is greenlit, we're taking your advice. So I guess in a sense it's all my fault. And ever since then, Lauren has always had access to all my files. Brian Singer has had access to my work. If they needed any further Q&A, I was available. But between the two of them, they know as much as they need to about producing a great film. And so that's what they've done.
Is there any scenes from the Days of Future Past comic that you would have liked to have seen transferred to the big screen in the movie?
Well, in my heart of hearts, it would have been fun to see Kitty get the lion's share of the work. But given the structure of the film, that's not possible. She wasn't born yet.
Thank you.
So, basically not really. It was all there. It evolved somewhat to conform to the reality that was being established in the movies. And obviously the set pieces were a lot more high budget than what John and I were doing, the more intimate things that John and I were doing in the comics. So, but I have no real wishes, no real complaints at all with this. It was wonderful. And I like the sense of the ending with Logan being flushed out of the water and the surprise that's revealed involving Stryker, which I thought, okay, they're good.
So, working on the new Nightcrawler project, how has it been writing that and kind of...
Lots of fun. Todd's an excellent artist. Kurt's a wonderful character. It's got all sorts of unique and interesting potential, both from a personal standpoint to Kurt Wagner and from a superhero standpoint. So we'll see where it goes. I've got a whole bunch of ideas. The trick will be persuading, in the best sense of the word, the editor that these are great ideas and you should go with them.
The characters you've written for or you've helped co-create, is there a particular character that would be your favorite?
Among the X-Men?
Correct.
I've known them all too long. They're all equally cool.
Are any of your characters at all based off anyone you know in your real life as far as personality or anything like that?
Bits and pieces of them reflect bits and pieces of people. Yeah. You don't do specific copies. That's creepy. You steal bits. Same as you do with events. Same as you do with plot structure. You steal a moment from the news or from what you've seen walking down the street. You stick that in, twist it around, and come up with an idea that, oh, this could work. Or you apply something that happens in, for example, modern day Phoenix, except that when it sees print in a comic book, it's the Savage Land. So, is there a connection? Yeah, kind of. Is it literal? Not really. But that's it.
Alright, well, thank you so much for taking time today to speak with us. It was great to meet you. Guys, head out to your comic book shops, pick up the new Nightcrawler series.
Tell your friends they should pick it up too.
Tell your friends they should pick it up too. Be sure to look for the rest of the coverage we have coming from this weekend.